Hello and welcome everybody, this is TP Gaming and we are going to do our first tutorial on Tower Simulator 3. How to create or change your own schedule and how to change the terminal file, which of course is very important because otherwise it's not going to work. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys will enjoy. This is going to be a very long tutorial because I'm going to go a lot into detail to show you step by step on how I change my schedules. Now, of course, there are lots of different ways to do it, and there's going to be very easier ways to do it. You will just have to figure out yourself. However, if you have absolutely no clue whatsoever, you can at least start with how I do it, and then later on you can find out your own way. So let's get going straight away. And we have our desktop here, and we need to open up Tower Simulator 3, the files. So that could be under your PC. Now I have Tower Simulator 3 on Steam. So this is the route that I'll be taking, is PC, then the disk where it's loaded on. You look for Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Tower Simulator 3. Pressing all these buttons will get you to this page over here. And before you start to do anything, let's just get into some things first. The important thing is, in our airports file here, you will find every airport that you have available. Of course, LAX, LaGuardia, Raleigh-Durham, and St. Thomas originally came in with the game. I additionally received Dubai, so these are my 5 airports that I have available, and the CSV file, which is equal to a text file, which means you can actually, by clicking on it, double clicking on it, you can actually open this up and you can see what is inside. We are not interested in what's inside at the moment. However, in case you are interested in adding airports, then you will have to go by whatever is sitting here and do exactly write down the code, the IATA code for the airport, then write down this, put down the dimensions of longitude and latitude and so forth, and add that in. I haven't looked into this at all, so I wouldn't tell you anything how that works, because I believe we have plenty of airports to work with, so that is not important. However, what is important is that you will change parts of these files here, and that means by changing these, the originals will be gone. So what you will have to do is one of two things. Either on your desktop you create a new folder, call it say Tower Sim 3 original airport files, for example, and then what you would do is individually copy each and every one of these files. So we copy LAX into here, paste it into it, and that will give us the opportunity to easily have all the informations that we need, and you do that with every single one of these. Now, I'm not going to do this right now because I think it's quite obvious on what you need to do. Today we will be having a look at the LAX file. I'm going to open it up. So we have saved a copy. That is one way of saving your folder, but you should always do that. If you do change something and you are happy with your new schedule and whatever, then you would have to copy that as well into a different folder, I would suggest, because whenever a new airport is being released, even though you may not buy it, you should reinstall the World, what's it called? The World Bundle, which holds the the real traffic and real color of the airports and so forth. But it will also always bring you up to date with any fixes, patches, but also new aircrafts and airlines that are being added, which you will be able to use later on your own schedule. So this is the important part, that you could always, whenever you do a schedule and it doesn't work out, you get errors and whatnot, then you either copy the original back into here, then you are back to scratch one, or you could always just download or reinstall the world package for the from NEWARK Design. Shout out to NEWARK Design, by the way, wonderful people. And then you have everything back to square one, and it's up to date, and then your game should be working again. However, at the moment the game is working again, so that's good, and we are having a look at all these informations that we have right here. The assets, totally not important for us. Instruments, not important for us. These stuff, not important for us, but the databases, that is what we are after. And then if you do have the world package in there, the NEWARK Design folder should be here. And the default is if you want to play the old, the default airlines like what I don't know, Magic, and no idea what they're all called. So yeah, these are in here, but we are interested, of course, in this here. This is the important part that we are going to have a look at, and we need to change either the general aviation file. If we want to do that, then you really have to be, have a close look and do exactly what you need to do. But for today, it's important that we will have a look at the schedule, and we will have a look at the terminal. So at the moment, we are going to take the terminals aside, and we are going to have a look at the schedule in a second, because right now we are going to go back just a little bit to this Tower Simulator 3 page where we have the airplanes. Okay, now these two files are the only ones that we are interested in. We're not interested in anything at all down here. So we'll have a look at the airplanes. Again, we have a default and the NEWARK Design. We double click on the NEWARK Design, and now we actually see every single airline from which aircraft NEWARK Design has actually implemented into this game. At this moment, and we're talking February 22nd in 2023, we have in this list, and I made myself the work to put out an Excel table for it. At the moment, we have 1,259 different aircraft types. Of course, there's a whole bunch of A320s and so forth, but they belong to 466 airlines. So 95 of those 466 are actually cargo airlines, and there's 180 different cargo aircraft types that you could implement into your schedule that you would like to, if you wanted to. There's a whole bunch of retro aircrafts as well. Not all of them from Tower 3D, but almost every one of them. And here's a little spoiler coming up for all you guys that are watching it right now. In a day or two, there's going to be a retro schedule, 3-part retro schedule coming out with a huge lineup of fantastic aircrafts. So they'll be all on show in a 3-part video coming to your gaming room very, very soon. Now, I have written down all these aircraft types and airlines and cargos and whatnot. I've put them in an Excel table, and if you would like that Excel table, then all you need to do is become a Patreon or become a member of my channel, and I will send it and ship it out for you, and then you have a list that you can go with and enjoy. However, of course, it's all up to you, and you can certainly go into all these files, and then you will see the B387M, the B737-800. God, goodness me, so difficult sometimes. You can of course write them down, and then you know that American, Canada, China, China Eastern, China Southern, etc., 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 etc. These are all available for you, and you can, go the list with all these and write them down yourself. So if you don't want to do that, if there's a cheaper way, a quicker way, I've done it all for you. But there will be more and more coming up, of course, as new airports are going to be released. I believe Las Vegas is going to be the next one, whenever that's going to be. So there's a whole bunch. There's like the Concorde included here as well. And yeah, Tupolevs and whatnot. So a whole bunch over there. Good fun. So if you want that, you will need those, or at least you need to look into these to check out when you do your schedule on what you want to do. Okay, so now that we know that we want to change our schedule, the way I do it is I open up an Excel page, and unfortunately the wording up the top here is in German. However, it's going to be possible to, it should be similar to what you guys are doing. So data should be the one that you'll be looking for, and from text. This open this up, then there should be from text. So you open this one up, and then you will have a look and see where you can find your file, and you will check it out. Let me have a look and see where it is. That makes it a lot easier if I just go down here. I could have prepared this, I suppose. Where are you? Where are you? So here we are. We've got the disk where it is on, Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, of course. Then we have Tower Simulator 3. And there we go. We have our airports, we have our LAX, we got our databases, really getting into it now, Nigel's design, and here's our schedule. So once you're up to this stage, this is the text that you want to import. This is the schedule. This is how it should be. The CSV is like a text file. It opens up the same. But you can't just copy the stuff into the Excel file. It just doesn't work. You need to go this way, and you import it, and then this comes up. This is actually in German as well, but it doesn't matter because yours will be the same. You use the top row, not the bottom one. You use the top row, then you continue, and then you go to the comma. This is the comma sign that you need. The comma is basically the letter in between those text files. So have a look at, let me show you, because what we need to do, everything here is separated by a comma. I don't know what you call it, but and we need to separate all these little files so we can individually work on those. So we put in a check mark on the comma, and then we just go finished. We don't go like over here. That's not important but if you do, it doesn't really matter. You just continue. Don't change anything over here and just finish this off. Then he'll ask you, where do you want to start? We want to start at A1. Press OK, and all of a sudden we have the complete schedule from LAX on top of each other, going all the way down to the bottom. So there's a 1,440, well, 1,439, because we have a top row here that we need to worry about. So what is new? What is new compared to Tower 3D? In Tower 3D we did have different things to worry about. It was the layout was different, left to right and all whatnot, with all sorts of stuff. Well, this is how it looks like right now. And what we need to look out for importantly is that we have our airlines here. And now it looks like, oh, this is all the same. Why is it all the same? Copy it the same. Yes, it is true. It should be the same. However, there are some regionals in between here. And that means that having regionals, like Alaska has different ones. In this case, it's SkyWest. So to get the livery of SkyWest of the Embraer 170, this is what you need to do. You have Alaska as the main airline, but you need to change to SkyWest or all the other ones, all the other regional. That's why it says regional here at the back, to show there is a difference in what's going on. So here we have that regional, Alaska, SkyWest. Here we got a whole bunch, SkyWest, using SkyWest. So I don't really know why it says regional, Alaska again. Alaska. Okay, it seems like LA only has those. But of course, as you guys know, United, Delta, and American are using different ones as well. You will find them all in that aircraft files, and then you'll be able to see them all. So this is what regional is about. So you add that into here. You write down the regional. It is important, even though I don't see it really in the game to be that important. But we'll get to that in a second. The other thing that you can see here is the cargo. It says cargo here, and now cargo is important to add because in your terminal file. So let me grab that. So in your terminal file over here, we'll have a quick look at how this works. We have the cargo here, and it is important that we also have, and that is new, a catch-all phrase. And the catch-all phrase means it catches any aircraft that is not in the correct terminals in here. So we have here a catch-all cargo, and we have here a catch-all general aviation and a catch-all basically anything. Because if you all of a sudden say, I'm going to have an aircraft which doesn't land in LA, but I would like it to land there, but I don't want to give it a specific terminal, or maybe you've missed it. You've missed by adding a code in the correct terminal, then the aircraft should actually land or depart or sit down there for departure at the satellite 1 or the satellite 2, or in case of the cargo that you go and say, oh, I want Saudi cargo to land there as well, but I don't have the code, the 3-letter code in here, so that will basically, it's like a safety net that you can still get that aircraft. Now, mind you, the way I'm telling you this story and doing this tutorial is before the next upgrade and patches, fixes and whatnot, because there are still a few issues here at the terminal, at LAX and some other ones. So things could change, but I'm just telling you the way it is now. I don't believe it's going to change a lot, but we'll get into the terminals a little later. Coming back to the schedule, again, it is important that you keep an eye open that you actually do have American, and if it is an American livery that you would want for the aircraft type, then you just do exactly the same that you have over here. On the next slide is your flight number, which is just a number, any number that you can give. It can be a letter and a number, and that's just going to be the call sign that you will have. So you can't do many mistakes with this here. The airplane type, of course, is crucial. If you add an aircraft type like I have no idea, but American, or Spirit Wings. Now, Spirit Wings will definitely not have an A388. So you will get an aircraft with an A388 on the ground with a call sign Spirit Wings 267, super, but there will be no livery. It'll just be blank, it'll be white. However, at the moment, A388s at LAX do not work, but they are working on it. Next patch is going to fix that, but for the time being it's not working, so don't try it at the moment. The next thing over here is, of course, the from and to, and that is important that your arrivals will have an airport that should be in the airline file that we have over here. It should be an airport that is in this file here. If you choose another one that's not in there, that plane is not gonna load. Then, of course, it's landing at KLAS for Los Angeles, and going down, if you have a look at the KLAX one, see all of a sudden it changes over. And so over here until line 713, we have arrivals, and afterwards we have departures. Now you see the clocks here, the time, and the time is on G for arrivals, and that's important as well. If these are on the other side, the aircraft will not show up, you will never see it, it's not gonna work. So the line where you have the arrivals from, so any weird letter combination here should be on the left hand side, and anything with the weird ones on the right hand side of the arrival or departing airport should be on the right hand side. Do it any differently, you'll have an issue, right? So the format of G and H is in hours. All right, so just leave it as such, and if you want to, for example, change this to 1 o'clock, then you can, you just maybe it'll just even work. No, it's not going to work. So we have that's 1 o'clock. It's not going to work, but because it'll show here a date. What you can do is just change the top one here at 1 o'clock, and then you could possibly go and say, okay, I want the next one to start at 1:02 because I would like to have departures every 2 minutes to not get overwhelmed. Then you can mark it, and here on the bottom right there's a black thing, and you can just pull it down and it'll just add every single one by 2 minutes, and then you can create your own schedule. Later on you can just go and say, well, I just want to schedule with these aircrafts. Then you mark it, because it is important that you go all the way to J. Okay, all the way to J. The last one, J, is important, very, very important, even though there's nothing sitting here at the moment, and sometimes there may be cargo, sometimes there may be regional. So for the time being, it is important that you paste until J, right click, copy, then you right click, paste onto this word, and now what you need to do is press anywhere here. Anywhere, it doesn't matter where, just press here. I'm going to press here, but as soon as I press, I would like for you to keep your eye open on this area at the top here, because that only works this way. Nothing is written there right now, but there will be in a second. So I'm going to press down here in 3, look at the top, 2, 1, now. Okay, I've pressed it, and now all of a sudden another tool opens up, which doesn't open up before. And this is important because you need to convert this Excel file back into a text file. And that's how you do it. You copy into a Word, press somewhere, wherever, it doesn't matter, that will open up this table tool. Go into layout, and now all of a sudden you have here at the back, convert into text. Okay, and you press that once, And important it is that you need the comma again. Okay, so this is the comma sign. I put it down the bottom here. We could use this as well. Put it down there and press OK. And now all of a sudden you do have the text file. And this text file is the one that you would have to copy into your old schedule. Okay, what you would do is just delete the whole lot here or whatever, and you can just delete it. And then you take these, right click, copy, paste, and then you will have your brand new schedule on your for your next go. Of course, you need to save it, and then you are pretty much ready to go. However, that is the end part of it all. But when you do write down your new schedule, you will of course have departures as well, and it is the thing that is interesting. Let me have a look. Okay, this is our original schedule. Let me just make this smaller and put it on the side. Now, a few things that you need to look out for when you write your schedule. There are differences between arrivals and departures. If you say you do not, so if you do decide that you want to change things inside of here, that you just want to go and say, I'll just change the time here, and I'll just change something here, I'll just change something here, something that you need to look out for very, very importantly is the commas in between here. If you have a look here, this top one, the jet blue, is an arrival, and the Volaris is a departure. Now there's a difference here. If you have a look and see and check the commas, behind the KLAX there's 1 comma before the time, and followed by 3 commas. And on the departure you have 2 commas, then the time with another 2 commas. Very, very important, because on our file here that we have, you can see that where are the come on, where are you? No, it's down there this way. Here we go. So in here, this is the difference between these two, is you have a comma behind the MMMX, and you will have another comma because there is nothing in between here, and then there's 2 places in the back that you need commas as well. Over here you only have the 1 comma and the 1, 2, 3, so it knows there's actually 3 extra lines between the back here. And these are very important, because otherwise the computer cannot read and understand, or the program cannot read and understand what is going on here. Okay, so this will be basically the easiest bit to change your schedule. You could, the way I do it, what I usually do is I would pick like random aircrafts, let's say these amounts that I want to use for my schedule. I'll just copy them and put them over here. And then I'm going to go down the list, and I will do, I'm going to do some aircrafts departing. Actually, I'm going to use a little more aircrafts for departing. I'll tell you why in a second. And then I will go back up here again, put these underneath here, and then we're going to go all the way over here, and we're going to start working on this right now. Is that I'm going to go and say, well, I want to start at 9 o'clock in the morning. Then I will go up the top here and just do 9 o'clock. Do the next one manually as well. That's just the quickest way. And I say, okay, I just want them arriving every 2 minutes. just so the schedule doesn't get crushed up. Then I'll pull this down, which gives me a schedule until 9:32. And then I will start over here, and I'm going to go and say my first departure is going to be at 9 o'clock. Make that 9 o'clock. And at 09:02, I would like to be the next aircraft to tell me, let's go. I'm going to go and say, okay, the top here is until 9:32, and I'm going to pull this down until about 9:32 as well. And I have all the aircrafts, the 34 aircraft, 17 arrivals, 17 departures that I can use. But I don't want the airport to be completely empty. So what I may do is, since my schedule will be finished at about 9:40, I'm going to go and say, you know, at an hour later, like 10:22, and I'll take the next one here, 10:23, and I'm just going to add these, and that'll just show me that the game, I can stop the game without any new aircrafts keep saying you want to start again. But I can finish my session here, but I have all these aircrafts sitting around at the airport, so it doesn't look empty, and you can fill up the airports. You can use, of course, a lot more, and if you have too many, because the airport doesn't hold that many, then it'll just give you an error saying couldn't load, because it's simply there just wasn't enough room. So this is how I do it, and now the next step, of course, would be to go into and copy these files. Remember, we have to go all the way to the end where the cargo and regionals is. Go all the way down to the bottom. Take them all, do a right click, copy. We open up our Word, right click, paste. Got them all in here. Even though they may be on several pages, doesn't matter. Check up the top here, it says Perfect PDF 10 Premium, but nothing on the right hand side. We can't get to it. All we do is press here somewhere. All of a sudden the tools come up with a layout. We go on to press layout, convert to text, and we say, please do the commas. Press OK, and now we have, see all the 3 commas here that is necessary, and here we have the 2 commas front, 2 commas back. Everything is perfect, and this is already highlighted, and we are going to now go into our LAX file and go into our databases, go into Nigel's design, go into the schedule, then we will mark all these. There's a simpler way, of course. I'll show you in a second, but there's a reason why it is important, or it may not be important. I'm not sure. I haven't tried out. Then we just delete them, because the top line may be important to be kept in there. Without the top line, it may not work. So either you can, and this is what we could do. Actually, we should do that. Let's do that. We will we'll do it the correct way. No, hold on. Let me just put something here. Just need to delete this, and then we're going to put this on top of this here. So, and now once you have that on top, again, we're just going to right click, copy, get our Word file, right click, paste, click anywhere, go into the layout, convert to text, do the commas, press OK, everything is highlighted, and then we'll just right click, copy, go into our schedule for LAX, right click, paste, and we are all set to go once we save. Okay, now that it's saved, it's saved. But now all of a sudden we decide that we would like to add, we'd like to add another airline, because right now we know that we've taken available stock, like we've taken all these aircrafts from the original schedule. But now we decide that we would like to use an aircraft that we haven't done before. So what we are going to do is we are going to have a look at the Excel table that I have created, or you go into the airport file. Let me just quickly show you again where it is. I will choose an airplane by them, and I'm going to have a look at let's have a look at the 707 from Qantas. So that is the old original, the retro from Qantas, the 707. And what we need to do is write a new schedule, and we're going to, what are we going to do? We're going to take this one here. We're just going to copy it to the top. And over here we'll write down QFA, because this is what Qantas is. And we're going to put QFA here as well. We are going to give it, well, we've got a number less, and then over here we need to write down whatever is this aircraft, and it's a B707, B707, and then we could go and say, okay, it's coming from wherever, but we'll just leave it as San Francisco to LAX, and we're going to let this aircraft, where did our schedule start? I believe at 9 o'clock, and we're going to have this one coming in at 9 o'clock as well. It's all possible to have double and triple numbers. So now we need to implement it into our schedule, which is no real deal because we're going to do it exactly the same that we did before. We're going to format it into our schedule. We're going to copy it. Remember, we need to go to J, copy it, get our word in, press somewhere here, layout, convert to text, comma, finished. We right-click copy, and we put it anywhere here in our schedule that we have at the moment. Right-click paste, and we shall save it. Now, we've added this aircraft here, but Qantas may be an aircraft that is not in our terminal file. So we need to add it to the terminal file. How do we do that? Let's have a look. Now, unfortunately, I've chosen an airline that actually is implemented in LAX, and it should. So we'll just have a look here. We have the regional, we've got the international terminal, and over here the terminal that we have here, there's Qantas QFA is already in there. However, let's just pretend it isn't, and if it isn't, you have to add it. Now, I have not figured out yet why there's a star in front of Air China and China Eastern. I have no idea why it is so. But what I have figured out is that if there's only one airline at a terminal, then behind the 3 you have the 3-letter code, followed with a comma, and then you start off with the terminal spots that are available for that terminal. Unfortunately, it doesn't show how many heavies or medium-sized aircraft that you could put there. Unfortunately, I can't find that anywhere. So Delta is the only aircraft at Terminal 3. At Terminal 4, only American is there. The second that there is more than one, you will have to add these little dots. I don't know what they're called in English, exclamation marks or something like that. No, I don't know. I have no idea. So if there's only one 3-letter, comma, starting off with the terminals, don't touch these. If there's more than one aircraft there, you just have to open up the front with these 2 dots. And then you could say, I want to put Qantas in here, or I may want to put an airline that is not available, and I put QFA in here, followed by a comma, and then we have added it to this terminal. We need to save it, of course. If we decide that we don't want Delta on this terminal anymore, but we would like Qantas to go over there, we can add him here. Important, the comma is important that it stays there, but you need to end it with these 2 dots and you need to start it with these 2 dots because you have more than one. Very, very important. In between these, there needs to be a comma. There's always got to be a comma before the next thing starts. If you say, well, you've got your regional terminal that shows when you say regional on your schedule, then all these aircrafts are going to be at this terminal here. If you say it's a cargo aircraft because on your schedule it says cargo, well, then you definitely don't want that to sitting next to Delta, but you want it at the cargo section. So it will go into the cargo section as long as you have the 3-letter code in here. This is where it will go. I do not know that if you have like we have Asiana Cargo here, if you have we have 11 spots here, and if you have 12 Asiana Cargos, I'm not sure if the 12th one will go into the catch-all cargo area down here, which has plenty more room. I haven't figured that out yet. I haven't worked on that as yet, but that may be possible, but you can find out for yourself. So, but that's basically it, what you need to look out for, that if it's only one aircraft at a terminal, then you do not have to put in these 2 dots, but you can only have this one here. I could actually go and say, at this terminal, I only want Qantas in there. You can do that. That's no problem. Or the United will now go to Terminal A8, or they may go into the catch-all area down the bottom here at some satellite dish, which is available for LAX. So this is a lot better than it was before. However, it is a little bit weird here, and the way they did it, but it's not impossible. I hope I made it understandable for you guys to see how it goes. So at the end, it's always important, as you can see here, there's a little star in front of the terminal file. Star means this has not been saved yet. So if I was to close this up, he will ask me, you want to leave or you want to save? But of course we need to save it because that's how we would like it. And now we can start the game, and if it starts, you did everything correctly. If it didn't start, you will have to have a look, because the mistakes that you may have are because you have airlines that are not available, but he should give you an error on that whilst he's loading. You may have a wrong airport, then that one may not load. There may be a comma mistake here. Check it out, because you may have in your Excel file that in your Excel file it shouldn't really be an issue, but if you, for example, forget to, if you only go until here and copy and paste, you may not have the necessary commas to give you the effect that you need on your schedule towards the back, because he does need those in here. He needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He needs 10 spots to be filled out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in between. So this is the full one here. Because he needs those, he does have the opportunity to approach altitude override that you could enter. You can do that if you wanted to, or whatever. So it gives you more options that you can do. So I think that should pretty much cover it. Of course, if you have any questions, you are always free to ask me. Send me an email, and if you're following me on Patreon, or if you're a member, then of course you have exclusive rights to talk to me over Discord or something like that. And I will definitely, with a team viewer or something like that, will help you out, as I've done previously in my old sessions when I used to have members. At the moment, of course, that is not so. But that's pretty much it, and I hope you have enjoyed this session. I told you it's going to be a long one. Again, if you are interested in an Excel table of having all these that you can see and know which ones they are, feel free to join me on Patreon, or become a Patreon, or become a member of the channel. And otherwise, I think you're pretty easy to do it yourself. It just takes like a few hours to get them all apart. So hope that helped. Let me have a look and see what do we got here. Do we have anything else? Anything else that we could show you or whatever? No, I think that's pretty much it. So that was a tutorial on how to create your own schedule and how to change the terminal file. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, retro schedule coming very, very soon. Really interesting. Hope you guys will enjoy that one. So until the next time, this has been another presentation of TP Gaming. Goodbye.